conversion we're going to take a look at is a conversion of a little known Namco game called Motos. This was released on the MAD packaging, as you can see. As I said, not a very well known arcade game and not a very well known Commodore 64 game either, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, so let's take a look at it. So this is the front cover of Motos. Nice metallic looking logo there, and as you can see underneath there it says official Namco arcade license. And otherwise it's a sort of eclectic space agey mix of blobs and circles and spaceships and a grid, and the MAD logo at the bottom there. And the spine's got that logo on as well, and the back cover, unsurprisingly, has got several screenshots. Looks like a fairly colourful game, and a little blurb about the game: defend the solar base against the massed hordes of space bees who are determined to force their way into your territory. And as you can see at the bottom there, it says conversion by Binary Design, who did lots of the Mastertronic games. And here are the instructions. Another small font here, but you can pretty much read them there. Objective of the game is to clear all the screens of the invaded space nasties. A little bit about the gameplay and the scores, controls, loading instructions, all the usual stuff, and inside, nothing. Here's the title screen of the game, pretty nicely done with a nice sort of flashing Motos logo. And as you can see, the designers of the game was written by M. Delves and graphics by Lee Corley, I think that is. And it's got a little scrolling text thing across the bottom there as well, with the licensing information and the music, credits and so on. Not exactly the same as the arcade version, as we'll see in a moment, but there's a good reason for that. So let's take a look at the arcade version now. Okay, so you've seen the arcade version now, and the main difference obviously between this game and that is that the original arcade version was done on a vertical monitor, so they've compensated for that on this horizontal screen by putting all the status bar and score down the right hand side. So let's get on with the game now. And graphically it's pretty similar. Obviously there's less colours. It's not quite so metallic looking as the arcade version, but the overall layout of the screens and the concept of the game is exactly the same. And the concept is that you've got to push these blobs off the edge of the screen, like so. Pretty easy on the first level. Gets a little bit more complex as the game progresses, as you'd expect, so there's more enemies to dispatch, and there's also these sort of pink blobs to the left and right which you can push off the edge if you're careful. Oh, I fell off the edge myself now. It's not a very good start. Probably easier to get rid of the enemies, most of the enemies are on the screen, and then focus on these pink things. And the reason you want to do that is because they're worth 1,000 points each. Okay, so that's that level completed. Just a note for the music, it is similar to the arcade version, but I think the Commodore 64 music's actually better. It's more dramatic and generally just better, really. Is the simplest thing. The SID chip doing its magic. This grey thing in the middle of the screen is a generator which generates extra enemies. You can see they're coming out now. You can try and clear all the 4 enemies that you start with off before they start to come out of that, but I didn't manage that. And that's pretty much it. You can see on the right hand side of the screen there's various things being collected. These are power elements that you'll now get the option at the beginning of this level to select whether you want to use them. You do that by pushing the joystick down. You'll see the white blobs disappear, and what that does is allow you more power to push things off the edge of the platform. There's also a jump option, although I haven't got any of those. You can see one's on the screen at the moment there. So let's get on with the game again. And again, the principle's the same, just push them off the edge of the platform. Pretty simplistic gameplay, to be honest. The little bug thing there, the blue and red thing that I'm pushing out at the moment, is really annoying, really difficult to push off the edge, although I managed it quite easily that time. So now I've got the option to add wings to my collection of power-ups, so I'll do that. And now I've got those wings, what you can do with them is jump over the gaps. So for example, if I go like that, I can jump over the gap. When you jump over the gap, you leave a sort of dent in the ground. Oh, I've run off the edge. That was crap. And if you jump into the same spot again, then it actually makes those tiles disappear completely. So I just need to knock this thing off here, but I just want to get this power up first. There we go. Quite easy to get rid of, actually. And that's pretty much it for the game. It's very simplistic, it's kind of fun. Not the most enjoyable game I've ever played, to be perfectly honest, but it's alright. It's certainly a good conversion of the arcade game. Again, this seems to be a recurring theme of this series. All the gameplay mechanics are pretty much there. Graphics are pretty similar, as good as the Commodore 64 can do. The colours are a bit horrible, especially on this level. This brown and orange and pink combination is not very pleasant to look at. Oh, it's very annoying. It's very easy to just make a slight little mistake and throw yourself off the edge of the platform, but I guess that's the sort of risk-reward mechanism of the game. I've actually only got 1 life left now. And so we go on to another colourful level with a lot of bugs on, which probably means I'm going to die on this level. I'm just going to try and show on this level what you can do with this jump mechanism. If you jump, you leave a gap in the ground. If you do it again, you can leave a little hole in the middle of the screen, which obviously could be good or could be bad, depending on whether you can knock the enemies into it or whether you throw yourself into it by mistake. So in the later levels, I imagine that becomes more useful. I'm not probably going to get to the later levels due to the fact I've lost all my lives. Oh, he's got me. I think that'll be game over now. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I don't see the point in playing through it again. It's a reasonable little game. It's not the most exciting game in the world. It's very nicely put together. It's a good conversion of the arcade game, but that's not very exciting either. So I think asking $2.99 for a game like this is probably reasonable given that it's a good conversion, but I don't imagine there was many people who were fond of the game in the arcade, so I don't expect it was a very big seller, and I don't think I'd have wanted to pay $2.99, even though it does on the face of it look like quite a decent game. So one more arcade game left to review. That'll be coming up shortly, and hopefully you've enjoyed this so far. One thing you can say about all of them is they have been pretty good conversions of the arcade originals.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.